Hey everybody, welcome to the Nerd Dungeon. It is your boy Dre the Geek Dad, and I'll be spearheading this trip through the Nerd Dungeon because JC is working late tonight, folks. So his master cracked his whip. As you can hear, my daughter's crying in the background. She felt bad. She's like, "Oh my god, he's getting attacked." So yeah, he's in the back getting whooped by the baby. No, I'm kidding. He is working late. So, but yeah, that's the plan. So that's what we're doing. So you'll be seeing me and Smitty right now until Bob gets in. So Happy New Year to you guys and to Smitty. I wanted to start this off by getting everybody the kind of the heads up that this is going to be the new year. And I wanted to I'm trying to do something else. It's the new year, new day. Where this is what we're going to be doing on Wednesdays now.
Hey, baby J.
Let me get him in. So yeah, we're trying to get everybody in. Let me try to fix this view. I don't like it like that. There we go. Yeah, I like that. All right, folks. It is King Bob. King Bob, Happy New Year, my friend. I hope that it is already being good to you. Oh my goodness, that thing is huge.
Even that's what she said.
Wow.
I told you it was a toddler.
Yeah, JC's being beat up by her in the back. I can't help it,
She doesn't surprise me.
Mad. So I put him to work. I said, slave. Nah, his job's keeping him late, so I'm spearheading tonight. Again, it's going to be the new year. Like I said, new day. That's the title of it. It's not clickbait, folks. This is literally going to be Wednesdays. We are moving to Wednesdays. So
shit! I thought new day. I thought I was King Woods.
You are. I'd be Big E. Smitty would be Kofi, and JC is Roman Reigns as usual. Nobody wants.
No. JC would be Francesca.
Francesca. Oh, that's even worse. So I wanted to just kind of welcome my friends, welcome you guys to our channel, welcome to the show tonight, and kind of give you a basic idea of what we do on the Kliq Talk. We just kind of sit here and bullshit with each other. That's what we do. Usually it's 4 friends, but sometimes it's 3 friends. We talk about wrestling, movies, toys, whatever pop culture, whatever just kind of hits our fancy. We go off topic all the time. And my wife is laughing in the background because she knows. She's heard witnesses of many times that we go way off script. So, again,
I had a script.
I wish somebody wrote a script for our show because it'd be a lot easier to plan things out. But exactly. And Terry Silver, that was a great show. I'm not going to go into spoilers if anybody hasn't seen it. Cobra Kai, it is amazing. Terry Silver was fantastic, and they're definitely leaving it open for more coolness. Definitely watch season 5. I'm itching for it to drop right now. Give me season 5. So.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, Netflix, I mean, it's already done. Just hurry the fuck up. Let's go.
Exactly. They really it finished filming before this even aired. This, what was it, on December 31st? So, I'm a little surprised that we're waiting this long to actually get the next season. But I think it's probably film editing and whatnot and hoo-ha.
Well, so that and also to let season 4 marinate because there's a lot of stuff went down.
Yeah, there's definitely is not.
I don't talk about it either until further notice. But yeah,
definitely, if you sit and watch the season, folks, I will recommend for you to sit and kind of marinate in what happens because there are definitely a lot of twists and turns in this season that are very awesome. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that has not watched it, but definitely we will be having some sort of Kliq review talk about it in the future once we get a little bit more settled in.
Year was 1968.
Ooh, that was 10 years before I was born. So, Smitty, I know you said you had some awesome new pieces, and I kind of, before we go off on rants about what's kind of going on in the world, I want to hear about these pieces that you ended up getting and kind of have a chance for you to showcase that.
All right. So I'm going to highlight 2 artists that I've got pieces in from this week. The first artist is Serge and Destroy.
Ooh.
He has been since Decon. He's been killing it. He's got 2 new characters out. He's upgraded to a box. When you open the box, it comes in a pull bag.
Nice.
This
Oh, that looks cool.
is a
Boricua.
custom.
Hey, that's for me. I didn't know you bought that for me.
Oh, no, my friend. No, my friend. But this is a graffiti one. It's a 1 of 1. So
That is dope. For anybody that's Puerto Rican, that would be amazing, and myself included, representing mi gente.
But that's not all.
We lost Bob. He'll come back.
You also get a bunch of stickers and even a couple little cast goodies to go with them. So Serge is killing it. Now I'm going to also segue that Serge has also volunteered for some of you who know Big Dog Dave. Last year, Dave did a charity auction for a local autism center here in the Philly area. He raised over $5,000 last year.
Nice.
For the center. Ended up being the biggest single fundraiser the center received last year because of COVID and corporate pullbacks and everything. So the center has been operating on a shoestring budget. And, when Dave said that, his fundraiser was the biggest single donation they got, when they reached out to him, he's going to be doing another one, I believe the beginning of April. It might be even April 1st. I've got to double check that. But you'll be hearing more about that auction coming up in the coming months. I'll be promoting it, but I've reached out to some of the custom toy artists that I know and have gotten to know over the last year or two to see about getting some custom pieces to broaden the auction more than just pops and a couple of custom pops.
I think that's an awesome idea. I mean, it sounds, just from me, I mean, I would love to have access to kind of donate something. If we could put something together with those artists to like tell them like, hey, we'll, do a live and we'll get some help and try to like put out their merch and try to tell them if they want to have a custom piece, and we'll donate all proceeds to this autism fund, because I know that it's a very important thing in my life as well as several other people's lives. So I think we should,
So, I had happened to reach out to Serge. He's reached out to Dave to confirm it, but he stepped up right away. He was like, of course, man. Well, I'll get you something. We'll do something up really good. So I wanted to thank him and give him an early plug. I haven't seen the piece yet, but, on my Instagram, you'll definitely see the piece before it goes up to auction as that auction gets closer. So that's one of the artists I wanted to touch on and show off, this evening. The next artist is Priscilla of Priscilla's Art. I've got 2 pieces in from her. The first is a resin rookie Mr. Wiggles that she did.
Cool. I feel like that's something Bob would have on his desk.
That's pretty freaking sweet.
That's something you would get, Bob.
This is one of she's known for this check kind of design or geometric design in a lot of her pieces. But the big custom I had on Instagram is the customized Evil Ghosty that Priscilla did, where the front is Venom and the back is Carnage.
I saw that on Insta, and let me tell you, folks, that thing looks amazing.
It does.
So,
for a custom fan, for just a comic book fan, that is definitely a piece that I would like to have if I was into custom toys in my collection.
Right. So what I sent her was basically essentially one of these without the bottom where it was flat. So it started out as just a white blank.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what you got. That's definitely cool. You know what's funny? I do have like 2 blank like things. I could probably get somebody. I could probably donate those to that autism fund and have like them done up as pieces to see if we could get them to try to drum up something from us, so we could maybe use them to sell, and we take that fund and donate it to from the Nerd Dungeon to them. I mean, I think that'd be something cool to consider.
I mean, we could do that, or guys could do it individually. I mean, just reach out to Dave. I mean, I know you both know Big Dog Dave on Instagram.
Yeah, I follow.
And I mean, for me, last year I donated probably about $200 worth of pops to his auction last year. I've got a bunch of other stuff. So I've got a piece from Cos Studios that I'm going to be donating. I've got a tiny ghost. I've got a couple of pops set aside for it. So, and then as I said, I'm trying to try to get a couple of the artists that I know that I've gotten to know over the year or so, or a little more, to see if they were willing. So actually, my boy Dougie, you guys know him, especially Dre just got a custom clock from him.
Love it. Love the pin too.
Dougie's done a piece, so I'll have pictures of Dougie's. He did a stroll custom. So yeah, we're trying to get let's see. Playful Gorilla has said he'd do a piece for us. Fed Up Toys has said he'd do a piece for us. Obviously Serge has volunteered, and just this week when I put up the post, a copy of Dave's post, King Ganga volunteered to do a piece.
That's freaking awesome, dude. I just love the fact that we're showing that this community, which we've talked about in several videos in the past, has really come together and is like starting to show really strong support, especially for something as strong as autism, which does hit a lot of people's lives on a very personal level. So I think that that's really awesome that these guys are willing to donate some pieces to actually donate that funds, which in the time that we're in is major crunch. I mean, even if we're still talking about the virus, because I know that the YouTube algorithm hates us saying the C word. So not do that, I'm gonna just probably call it the vid. So in this time that we still have it, people are still staying inside and avoiding these sorts of things. But I mean, supporting it is what's important, and that's what we have to do. So Smitty is kind of like our ear to the ground with the custom artists. Y'all know he does those artist spotlights with JC. I know they got a couple planned to be doing and be putting out on here soon. I do also know that I have a pet project that I'm working on for the Nerd Dungeon. It's going to be called Toy Chats. It's going to be infrequent, so it's going to be on Mondays. It's going to be at our old time, not in our old time slot of like 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night. I can't. I have too many other responsibilities, but it will be at 7 p.m. And I'll be having some of the very prominent figures, I think, within the YouTube community that collect toys, and we're going to kind of just bullshit with them about toys, collecting, and whatnot. Our first guest on the show is going to be the Century Mad Collector. He's from my neck of the woods, Smitty's neck of the woods, and Rob's neck of the woods, New York City. So he is he toy hunts, he collects, he is into several different things, from Mythic Legion to Marvel Legends to collecting a lot of old school Master of the Universe. So he does have a very cool different collection. He has a very different spin on things, and he is a wrestling fan. So I would love to have him on the show just to kind of BS with us. He said he will. So that'll be next Monday at around 7 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So you guys can tune into that and watch that with us live and just kind of shoot the shit with him. Bob, what has been going on with you in the new year? Has anything new come down the way of Disney and or the way of just being King Bob? Ah, yes. His Britt Baker.
Britt Baker finally arrived on my doorstep today.
Nice. I know you have been waiting for that. Hey, Nadia, how's it going?
What's up, Nadia?
Happy New Year's to our Canadian friend.
Bless you.
Dude, that looks awesome.
Thank you.
That looks so awesome. That
Yeah.
shout, I do like that Smitty kind of was like, hey, nice and generic. Who cares? That's Britt Baker, dude. That's Adam Cole, baby.
His V shout was good.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, compared to a lot of ones that I had seen.
Yeah.
I mean, that one was, you know.
It was short, crisp, and to the point, but she's still hot.
Yeah, she is. And she's
Sorry, Adam.
EMD. So I like that. Is there anything else new coming down the pipe for you? As far as I know that you're kind of our resident,
Well, on a personal note, I've signed up to embarrass myself for the month of January.
How so?
Oh,
doing the BK Phipps, Roscoe Pops, and Nazarene. They do their kamikaze karaoke. So I will be embarrassing myself.
Oh, we have to see this.
Doing karaoke.
Dude, I'll join you. I love karaoke.
Well, I do too.
I don't care about
it. It should be fun. It'll be fun.
The wife's laughing in the background.
I think the competition starts this Saturday.
Of course, Saturday.
I don't know whose channel is starting out on for the month, but
how late is it going? Is it going to go late? Is it going to run late?
It starts at 8.
All right. I'm going to be at AEW's Charlotte pay-per-view show that they're going to have, so I'm not going to have a chance to watch it till I probably get home. So if you want, message the group highlights in our text group, so that way I can, because I'd love to see it, but I won't. I'm going to be there shooting my head off. So
I'm no Ed Sheeran or. Well, it'll be fun.
Hey, listen, you can be Peter Cetera.
Glory love, baby.
See, I say that for us because we're. I know he can. That's why I was saying Bob could do Peter Cetera because he got that deep baritone voice. I didn't go for Barry White.
Well, the cool part is you picked one song, which I've got a bunch that I'm debating on. But the scary part is the kamikaze part. That's when they spin the wheel and you sing whatever it lands on.
That's fun.
I'll
take a risk.
So that'll be fun.
You ham it up, bro. That's what you got to do.
Oh, dude, trust me.
You said kamikaze. I was like, ooh, shot.
That's what I was thinking. I thought he was gonna be doing shots. I'm like, oh, is he gonna be like shot, and then singing? Because that would be even greater.
Oh,
like,
it would.
I'm thinking Shang-Chi when they're with him and Aquafina are like, "Hello, Town Road," and they were like, then they pass out and you see them sleeping on each other. I thought that was hilarious. So I was hoping that Bob was gonna do that by himself. You see him hugging a minion.
Hobgoblin.
Oh, the Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin. The minion in one hand, the Hobgoblin in the other.
I don't know. I think he's big enough there.
Yeah, he is. You bet you can give him a nice big hug and be like, "I love you, Hobgoblin."
Oh, I do. Every time I go home from work. We just sit on the couch and watch TV, and
he feeds it dinner.
He's watching my back right now.
Look at that. You can't beat that. So, I want to talk about some toy stuff. Or Speedy, you're gonna stop me there.
One thing since we were talking about showing off the Britt Baker autograph reminded me. You guys have seen the pins I've gotten from Urge Yourself.
Yes.
Before.
Yes.
He's doing a new battle series for pin. He's doing wrestlers.
Oh,
so check out his Instagram. He's done he's got a design for a Britt Baker. He's got a design for King Woods.
Oh God.
Yeah. So check it out because he's designing them now and he's posting the designs now. He's going to do a women's division and a men's division.
That's dope. I
There
definitely
goes
got
my
to
money.
Of different wrestling pins. And I mean, he's got that one almost like it's not the Churi head, but I mean, he's got the bigger head with the slightly smaller body kind of design.
Oh, he does like the chibis.
Yeah, it's kind of like it, but not exactly.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm gonna check that out because I've been following an artist that does she's been doing all the women of AEW, and she does them in like an anime comic book style. So I've been downloading, like I go on Instagram and I follow her, and I've been getting her images because she did like, what was it? Jamie Hayter, Sheeta, Serena Deeb, Britt Baker, my Sugimoto. Like he went through, like she went through and did like all these great, and they look fan freaking tastic. So if I can find that, I'll post that in the chat.
So, I mean, for you guys, I figured, let me tell these guys because they'll be interested to see what the designs look like. I'm sure.
Oh, hell yeah. So you don't see wrestling pins unless they come out from WWE. And WWE released those WWE pins official.
Even Funko has Nadia just mentioned it in the chat. Funko has a wave of their pop pins that are WWE.
I've never seen them. I've never seen them in the stores down here ever. Wow. I would love them because if it was like The Rock or like if it was any of the current stars that I like, dude, I would have scooped one of those up. Because I know that I've never seen them personally in Targets or Walmarts, or even in my local comic book shop is not really like a wrestling, like nobody likes wrestling in the store. They'll watch New Japan, but like none of them watch wrestling like we do. So it's a very tough crowd to find wrestling toys or wrestling stuff.
It looks like they were trying to find them.
I bet you they were like a box exclusive or something like that. They came with like some, because there was a lunchbox Funko did that came with something with Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. They did a Randy. See, I would get a Randy Savage.
Yeah, it was Warrior, Iron Sheik, Macho Man, and Ric Flair.
I'd only want to get Randy Savage,
and Randy was a chase. It has his glasses are kind of tinted over, and then it has like clear glasses.
See, I wish.
The pop pins are cool. I had a couple for a while, but I got rid of mine. I had a Batman and a Robin and a Thanos. They were too big for me.
Yeah,
I've been putting them on boards. Like the wife got these little arrow cork boards. Like they look like, I shouldn't say arrow, like triangles. And I've been putting them up around, and I have them like, I have my pins on there, but they're small. I was thinking of just getting a big cork board and putting all my pins on there to display because I think it's more fun and it's a cooler piece to display than just these little triangles with the pins on them.
Well, I mean, the triangles should be cool too, and I think Smitty said it last time we were live talking about, displaying them. You can get like the bigger, you get the smaller ones. You can theme them up a little bit and stuff like that.
That's why I like the octagons that I found, because you can, break them up into smaller groups and not just have like one giant board and then trying to segregate it or group them.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. I got to check that out. But I wanted to kind of talk about some toy stuff because we don't always do that on this channel. So I wanted to kind of see that since the new year started, and I know that Marvel Legends have already released. If you guys haven't seen the leaks, we're getting the Doctor Strange wave. And in that wave, we're getting a couple of cool ass figures. We're getting one from the cards, the Marvel, if you collected them, superhero trading cards from the 90s, Sleepwalker, who is like a way like lesser known character. He's getting a figure and he looks awesome. I know Doctor Strange is getting his movie variant. They're doing Mordo. He's getting like his movie figure. We're getting a Wong, which is going to be really cool. I definitely want to get the Wong. And I know we're getting America Chavez, which is kind of a spoof, like, hey, guess what? We're getting America Chavez, which means she's going to be in the movie. So for those of you that don't know, America Chavez is a great superhero. I like her comic book. I've been reading it individually, so she'll be a good asset, I think, to the movie, especially since she's a dimension traveler. So it kind of plays into how they're going to introduce her to the MCEU, or the MCU, since it's like its own thing. I do know that there was like 2 villains, but they're not talking about who the main villain is in the movie. So, and a lot of people were questioning if we're going to get a Scarlet Witch in that set. I felt like, no, I didn't really want a third Scarlet Witch. I already got the cool one that came with the MCU pack with Vision from WandaVision.
Yeah.
I don't think we need it. You guys feel like we need another Wanda? We don't really even need another Doctor Strange because they made so many. But
well, the other version of Scarlet Witch, is it the comic version of Scarlet Witch?
No, they're looking to do a movie. These are all movie versions except for the 2 of the character or 3 of the characters in this wave are not movie characters. So it's Doctor Strange, his astral projection, America Chavez, Wong, and Mordo. And then the other 3 characters in the wave, or the other 2 characters in the wave, were a villain from the comics, Sleepwalker, and then they had a Build-A-Figure, which was dope. It's like a Minotaur. It's like a gigantic Minotaur. He's like the typical Bath figure size, but it's like he's a wizard, and he's green. So picture a green Minotaur wearing wizard robes, and he's some sort of odd comic book, possibly movie character. Nobody really knows, or no one's really saying about it because I've not seen a lot of YouTubers talk about this wave. I do know I've seen some people already on Mercari selling this wave because it's already out in China. So it's supposed to be coming out in February or April, but we've been seeing things drop earlier than that. So that's just one of those things. I also was going to ask about Mezco, since I sit in the higher end figures, because if I'm going to get figures, I want to get higher end. Have you guys seen some of the new Mezcos that have coming out?
No, because I haven't followed Mezco close.
If you guys ever played Silent Hill, the video game for
years
PlayStation,
ago,
remember Pyramid Head? The guy with the big ass pyramid on his head with like the.
I know a Pyramid Head, yeah.
He's now a Mezco figure, and he looks absolutely menacing and amazing. Their box looks huge. I am like super excited to get it. I'm hoping that my comic book store, they pre-ordered about like 4 or 5 of them. I'm on that list, so hopefully I can get it when it comes out. I think they said it's in May of this year. I do know Mezco has been kind of like in some trouble because they made Conan figures that did not get released on time to their people. Now people are starting to get them. They also delayed Constantine, who was supposed to be out September of last year, and they delayed Ghost Rider, who was supposed to be out next month. So they both got delayed to next month.
Yeah, but with all of the supply chain issues going on right now, a delay, almost everybody's delayed because you've got stores that can't even get stock.
We laughed the other day when we couldn't get Tostitos. I went to the grocery store, Harris Teeter, and all the Tostitos were sold out. And I called the wife. I'm like, hey, babe, they're out of Tostitos. And I ended up getting like this other brand of like tortilla chips. And then like a couple days later, I went and they were fully stocked. So I'm like, okay, but it's so odd to me that we can't find things like Tostitos. Do we expect to find, little plastic? If you guys hear this, she's right. Schools are. My daughter had to get my middle daughter. We had to get her poster board today because schools are actually so like out of stock on their school supplies. They can't even help kids get them. So we had to buy it from my daughter because I was like, oh, I'll get you poster board. I mean, things that are so simple that we can use to be able to go to like Target or Walmart and pick up. Now you're finding that it's not easy. And, paper goods are being moved, obviously, towards toiletries and toilet paper. Plastic still being used in respirators, especially now because of all the new issues post the pandemic. We're still seeing things. I don't like to be political and get on my high horse and try to say anything, but we all know about it. So, it's when we see these delays, I'm like, at this point, it's good to wait.
You still have 100 ship backlog outside of LA.
Yep.
So, I'm in customs and logistics every day. That's my job. So, as a side part, we keep an eye on what that backlog in LA. LA is the most published one, but all of the ports have backlogs. It should help now that we're post holiday, but LA you won't have that cleared up until summer, if you're lucky, for them to get that 100 ship backlog down. It took them half a year to get a 50 ship backlog down to almost normal.
We're complaining about stuff now for April. So just put that in perspective, that if we're complaining about things that have been already pushed back, and that April's when things are due, just might as well take it for what it's worth, that we're probably not seeing those things come out on time. And if we do, obviously people are going direct to these like personal sellers and buyers, buying them in China, paying a markup for it. And I get it. Some people want to have it just to review it. Some people want it just to have it. Some people want to flip it. We can go down the whole list of an argument with who does what, but we all know at the end of the day, I'd rather wait. I can wait for it. I'm not in any rush to get anything. I already have a Doctor Strange. I already, I want the other pieces in the wave, but I can wait.
My concern is whether or not it's authentic or if it's a counterfeit coming out of China. You guys know I have the Batman Imperial Palace pops, and but those are Funko original. They're Funko, they're authentic, but I had a guy that was able to get me them at a markup, but the markup wasn't terrible. But I can tell you, shipping from China is not cheap either.
Oh yeah, these guys on these websites, I've checked out like 2 or 3 websites from other YouTubers that have like posted the links. They're like, oh yeah, go order from this website. They're like, first up, those websites are now backlogged from all the other countries besides America that are ordering from them, and they're charging like, when the Baroness on the red motorcycle was the Target exclusive, Hasbro had it. Obviously, it's made in China. They were selling the Baroness for $90 American, and the shipping was like $40. Comic just $40.
Yeah, that for
a $40 piece of plastic
for an item that size, that would be what I would expect based on what I saw when I was shipping the pops over.
Just think about that in perspective, folks. Something you pay $40 in Target for would cost you $130 to get it direct from China. And like Smitty said, you don't know if it's counterfeit or not. Now, granted, you may not care, but for those that do, be realistic. But I'm gonna move past this, and I'm gonna talk about the big thing. Day one. If I could say I didn't see it coming a mile away that he was gonna win,
Roman needs to send whoever gave him COVID a card.
What's his face? Paul Heyman gave him COVID when he Superman punched him.
Whoever gave Roman Reigns COVID, whoever his immediate contact was, Roman needs to buy him or her a good gift, because pretty certain Roman was going to lose, because according to the dirt sheet, Seth Rollins was supposed to win the
It was either Seth or Big E was going to retain.
No, Seth.
Well, it depends on which dirt sheet you listen to. If you listen to Cornette said Big E was going to retain. If you listen to WrestleMania, they said it was Rollins.
I mean, honestly, between the two, I think Seth would have won.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I could agree that Seth could have won. He's a hell of a worker. You'd have a good program, but again, could Seth do a good program as a heel?
Yeah,
against
Isn't that
Bobby
what he
Lashley?
is now?
I mean, he is, but he's more comedy. They've relegated him to comedy. I can't do it. I can't see a comedy angle against him and Lashley. This angle that they have going is the Titan versus a Titan. I think is the program that a lot of wrestling fans have wanted for years, including these two wrestlers have both wanted. They both wanted a fight with each other, and they've never had the opportunity, and now they're getting it. But I feel like Big E got screwed.
well, yeah, he did.
You know, and he's not going to be a champion again. I mean, if he is, but it's like, to me, does the Rumble matter this year? Like, does it really matter who wins the Royal Rumble? I mean, like, the women are struggling now because with all the mass firings from last year, 80 wrestlers gone, they're struggling to see who has the talent to win the women's Royal Rumble, which we all know is going to be Bianca Belair for Becky. I mean, as much as I want Liv to win the belt, it's going to be Bianca. Unless you have Bayley come back and you put Bayley in a program with Charlotte.
Yep.
That would be.
But then
I
again,
seeing that.
if you read the Toni Storm quote that she posted to the Wrestling Observer, where she talked about having to actually be the woman that was causing, she's like, I missed my father's intervention. She missed her sister's wedding. She missed her nephew's circumcision. She went through like 6 things that she missed in her life. And she said, if I had to realize that being a WWE superstar was to miss those things and to kowtow to a bitch that wants me to believe that all female wrestlers kowtow to her, I wouldn't have been in WWE. That's very awesomely said and very powerful because, I mean, Charlotte, she didn't even compete at day one. She was supposed to be there. You thought that, I figured Vince would have kept her there. No, she was on a yacht in Mexico with her husband, with Andrade. Is that how little she cares about being champion?
Well, if she doesn't have a match now, why be there?
You could have had something, though.
What? What are you going to put together that late?
Naomi, Shayna Baszler. Baszler would have been a good competition for Charlotte. Even if Baszler loses, it shows Baszler could go. She's a former 2-time NXT Women's Champion, a former 3-time NXT Women's Tag Team Champion.
See, the problem that Vince has is he is so stuck on Charlotte and Becky that, it's almost, I mean, you have 3 or 4 main titles held up by people that now you throw Brock in there, you got 4.
Yep.
That wasn't there's a very small number of people who will beat any of those 4.
Yeah.
Very small.
Actually, if you look at the amount of people that have beaten Brock Lesnar that were in that fatal 4-way, there's only one person that has, Seth Rollins. And Nadia
I'm sure
I'm be boring.
See, my guess is I think I don't think Brock's gonna hold the title for long. I think they want to get him back over to SmackDown and have him go back at Roman, finish that program out properly. So I can see Bobby winning.
That's the kind of the rumor that has been coming out of Royal Rumble is that Lashley is going to win, take the belt off of Brock. Brock's going to go back to SmackDown, and then it's going to be him with Heyman against Roman, and then Lashley is going to end up having some sort of, I don't know who the hell is going to fight Lashley. I mean, you could put anybody in that slot. I mean, probably Rollins if you're going to want somebody for a main event name. Kevin Owens he re-signed.
I mean, it's going to be either Seth or Kevin Owens or Big E. One of those three.
And just the buildup of, I mean, there's so much you could do with the four of them leading into a title match.
True.
I mean, and it's not just a single match thing. I mean, it's, with those three, yeah, there's so much you could do. I mean, different matches, different challenges, different,
There's a lot of different ways I agree you can go.
I mean, so they're all right. So at least coming out of day one, even though day one was a
Train wreck.
Sure.
I mean, from what you guys have told me, I didn't watch it, but from what you guys told me, it was a train wreck. And a lot of that was, some of that was COVID related, and them having to scratch and scramble matches.
Last minute booking.
Yeah. Which, all right, some of that isn't WWE's fault. It's
the times.
Real life. It's COVID.
It's COVID. I mean, it's the vid. It did what it did. It got him. It got Seth, but Seth was able to compete. It would have knocked out Becky, which she was still able to compete. It knocked out Roman, which we all know Roman. I mean, real talk. As much as I may not like Roman's character, I still know he's a person, and I know he has leukemia. And my mom died of leukemia, of acute myeloid leukemia, a form of cancer. So I know that his immune system is jacked up. So he has to be extra careful. So I do wish him well, and I do hope that he recovers and gets better. But I mean, realistically, that's the deal. Like that COVID took out a lot of their talent, and then with these releases, it took out more of their talent. So all these B wrestlers, not even B, A+ talent, like Keith Lee would have been a great fill-in for a match with Roman, because Roman and Keith Lee went toe-to-toe, and it was proof that they adapt.
Keith,
I was hoping for that program.
You throw Keith Lee into, you throw him on either roster, and
he would have been great.
He could be a top. I mean, once again, you throw him into the mix with Lashley, Big E, Seth, and Kevin Owens. Come on,
that would have been another good one. I mean, there's several ideal matches that would have came out of that I think any wrestling fan would have been happy with.
I mean, and we had kind of said that before the whole surge, recent holiday surge, in cases. That, I know I said it in our discussions that they're cutting to the point that, all right, if they have something happen or have a series of things happen, what do? Well, guess what? They ran into it.
Oh yeah, they really seriously they got stomped by it. I mean, and it is what it is. Day one was an absolute train wreck. I don't like what happened. I see why they did it. I don't like Big E getting screwed by it. No. But again, I'm biased against WWE because I feel like they're the it's a little bit. At least I'm honest. It's like JC truly, as a wrestling fan, JC goes out of his way to like defend WWE when he comes into these things, because he knows me, Bob, will always team up against them and say WWE sucks.
Well, I mean, a couple of years ago, I'd probably lean more towards helping JC out, but just the way they've written themselves into so many corners, it's just embarrassing almost. Now we're starting that uphill climb to them shoving OMAS down our throats, and OMAS he's about as useful as a bucket with a hole in it.
Yeah, he really is.
All right, but
I don't see him being the big man that
the Big Show, Kane, Undertaker.
Well, as big men go, the only ones I truly enjoyed watching were Taker, Kevin Nash, and really Big Show, not really. Just the way they constantly flipped him back and forth like a hotel mattress. Not really, but I mean,
Poor Big Show.
I mean, Taker and Kevin Nash were probably my only two real favorite big men that had longevity. I mean,
Kevin
Sid,
before the knees, before he had.
Sid was great for a while.
And that's the thing. But looking back, Kevin didn't have a huge repertoire of moves either.
But Kevin
he
Nash,
pulled his attitude and his stage presence. He had that swagger that
exactly
pulled it off.
Yeah.
You don't even have that with OMAS.
My thing is big men like Taker kind of defied all logic.
Mm-hmm.
As a big man, he could scale the ropes. He could do what he had to do. But like Big Show was kind of entertaining at times.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Nash obviously was entertaining. Taker was entertaining.
Mark Henry was too.
Yeah.
Mark Henry.
Yep.
When he was heel and he took out Orton, he was greatest WWE champion. People slept on his championship reign. That was a good run.
For me, OMAS, I will always lump him in with the Great Khali, Giant Gonzalez.
Oh God.
The Yeti in WCW that was wrapped up, and he's that kind of a person.
Isaac Yankem.
That's still Kane.
I know. I'm just saying, Isaac Yankem.
Nah, that's still Kane. Kane was okay. They ruined him the minute they took the mask off and let him talk. But obviously, you can't have a 15, 20-year career and all you're doing is
walk into the ring and then putting power
walk to the ring and leave.
Well, I mean, Undertaker kind of did that. I mean, let's be real. How many times did Undertaker really talk? I mean, when he got a promo, he got a promo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for years. I mean, that's what God, his name just went right out of. Thank you. That's what his job was. He was the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like Heyman.
Yeah, I made a joke, and may he rest in peace, Paul Bearer. But my joke was, I remember my friends and I in New York when Kane and was it Kane and Austin took Paul Bearer and stuffed him in the sewer, and we never saw him on TV again. I was like, oh shit, like that's like some real kayfabe shit. Like they threw his ass in. You saw him, Stone Cold, pick that sewer cover up and then threw him in head first. Did not go shoe first. He went head first. Big boy that he was. Gone. And we never saw him again.
Nope, thank God.
No, but see, I think of Brother Love though. See, like I think of Bruce Pritchard. I love you. People forget all those names. I wish JC was here because we could totally do managers of like the 80s and 90s. That
Johnny Polo.
Oh, Johnny Raven. No, he became Raven.
He's Johnny Polo to me. I know he's Raven, but
yeah, he's Johnny Polo.
Johnny
Polo. I mean, I'm trying. Has there ever really been, besides DDP and Raven, any managers that have really been like in the 80s and 90s that have really translated to wrestling as full-time wrestlers and champions? Because DDP and Raven were the only two that I could think of.
Road Dogg.
Yeah.
They really count.
And Road Dogg and
China.
Yeah.
China.
I was thinking Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn wasn't a sidekick.
No, he was never a manager.
He was.
Wait, when? He was in the Smoking Guns. Billy and Bart Gunn.
He was sidekick to Jarrett and
no. We're talking about managers. DDP was a manager. DDP managed Kevin Nash and WCW.
Right.
Like if I think of a manager like Jimmy Hart,
yeah,
Bobby the Brain, they never did that. Captain Lou Albano, You know, like those were guys that did not ever translate into, you know, wrestling gimmicks. Jim Cornette, Mr. Fuji was, but he never could cut a promo. You know, Brian Pillman, because he kind of managed, but he was a wrestler already, so you really can't count it. I would say Sonny, Kelly, Trish Stratus, they were managers that became champions.
Lita.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying they were.
Didn't Lita start as a wrestler though?
Who? Kelly? No, she was a manager. Kelly was a manager. Lita was a manager. Trish Stratus was a manager, and they all became champions. And Lita, and Trish Stratus, Sable. You know, it's like if you go through the list of like some of those women that later on during the Attitude Era, they really became women champions. Like but when you look at the 80s and the early 90s, DDP was a manager, and he then translated at like 30 something years old like 35 years old to want to become a professional wrestler, and then went on to become a 2-time heavyweight champion. You know, I can't really look bad at him like that. You know, Heyman never wrestled. And you know, I wouldn't say Heyman wrestled well if he ever did. DDP MVP now, but because he's hurt and he's older.
Yeah, but he started. He
started
the opposite.
I can't really think of anybody now that started out. Actually, Serena Deeb, who's now in AEW, she was part of that Punk faction. You know, the Straight Edge Society.
Yep.
And she never really wrestled in WWE, and then she went on to become Serena Deeb, and she was a coach in NXT for a long time. So she was a manager, and then a coach, and then became a NWA Women's Champion. I mean, I give it to her. Not a whole lot of people have had that luxury or luck. Jacqueline did it. That'd be something we got to put out there to see, like really challenge ourselves to see how many guys were managers first that translated to professional wrestler, like from the 80s to the 90s, because that wasn't a common thing. And I listen to the Jim Cornette podcast like every day. I listen to it like I'm addicted to that podcast. It's so good. He is funny. He talks a lot of shit on. He reminds me of me talking to JC. It's like whatever. Bob. Have you listened to him? So am I right? Does it sound like when I talk to JC, it's like when JC gets me mad, it's like you're stupid. Come on. It's exactly like how he talks, and I love it. So I'm just saying that I think that when I look at that as far as wrestling goes, like that would be a good topic. But let's leave WWE alone in the trash can that it belongs, the dumpster fire that it is, and let's talk about AEW and Cody Rhodes. Yay or nay to him becoming the only three-time TNT champion, beating one of the pillars of AEW.
Hell no.
Do you guys tell me what you think? I'm curious because I have my thoughts, but I want to hear your thoughts.
My guess is Cody Rhodes is like Chinese for Triple H, I guess. Because they all took shots at Triple H for golden shovel this and burying young talent that. What did Cody just do? Bury the young talent.
Mm-hmm.
One of the pillars of his company too. At that.
I mean, I don't feel bad for Sammy because he's banging Tay Conti now, but as a talent, I think, with those four, tread lightly with how if you call them their pillars and then just pull the carpet out from underneath them, then don't call them a pillar. Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, if it was Sammy's time to lose, that's fine. but hand it off to someone who
He hasn't had it that long, and he's been a fighting champion.
yeah.
And it wasn't fair because Miro, I think, was the longest, besides Brody, Miro was the second longest running champion. Darby Allin wasn't the longest. It was Brody, then Miro. Cody's the one that's had it the most. And he's wrestling, I think, against Ethan Page for the belt this Friday. And I'm like, okay,
I hope he wins.
I hope Page wins because on Saturday, that means I would see a match between Page and Guevara, which I think would be fan-freaking-tastic to watch. But I don't think Cody deserves it. Cody, I think Dan Lambert's promo that he cut on him last week was great, where he talked about like that, he's kind of over. He thinks that he's too over. He thinks too highly of himself.
And look at the fan reaction to it.
And that's the big thing. It's the fans have, if anything, AEW prides itself on not being WWE for being the clone, so to speak, or like the lesser brand. Tony believes in giving every fan a real chance at seeing the people they want be champion. So I'm like, all right, well, there you guys have several talents. I could have seen Sammy Guevara in a program with Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston would be a good champion because Eddie Kingston's over with the fans right now. If you just go on fan reaction alone, him and Jericho could have had a great program for that belt.
Yep.
And then have Eddie Kingston drop the belt to somebody else. That belt should be the popular wrestler, Andrade El Idolo. He is wildly over. Aleister Black, wildly over.
They haven't done anything with Black in how long?
And no, they just did. They just started doing it with Griff Garrison. Of all people, Griff Garrison and tonight, Brian Pillman.
Well, it's hard to sandwich in all these guys when you've got
and that's the other thing that
way
we've
too
said.
much, and it's AEW. Yes, I follow it. I can't watch it religiously because I don't have cable yet. I'm working on that, but it just seems like months ago you had a lot of the younger talent kind of at the forefront. Now you just got Punk has come in and he's fit in seamlessly.
Yes,
he's kind of where he needs to be.
So is O'Reilly and Fish. I'm gonna give him that too.
Fit in. I cannot wait to see where it goes with Adam and Bobby and Kyle and the Bucks to see how that plays out.
Oh, it's going to be the Elite versus the Undisputed. I mean, it's exactly what they're going for. I mean, it's what the fans want. The fans want to see the heel turn from Cole kicking the Bucks turning face, Omega coming back, turning face, and then you have that rivalry go on till their next pay-per-view. I think that's going to be amazing. I know that they're already pushing MJF and Punk to the Danielson and Page match that they're working on. I mean, those four guys are in a title thing issue with each other, which I'm kind of okay with. I'm liking that. I mean, Hook right now is their new young prospect who's hot, has the hottest merchandise. I mean, the kid's good. I mean, he's definitely, I don't think he's TV ready, but I think,
he is nowhere near ready.
Well, think about it this way. Cornette talked about it recently with the whole Big Swole issue, which I don't know if you two know about it. Big Swole came out and made a comment about there not being any racial equality in AEW.
I saw that, and it's almost the same as WWE.
Yeah, but when you think about it, is that really true? When you see Marquand, Private Party, let's just go with it. Private Party, Top Flight, Leo Rush, Hobbs, Jade Cargill, Hikaru Shida, Nyla Rose. I mean, there's a lot of brown people that I've been Thunder Rosa.
But much like we discussed numerous times, how many of those people
Here's the hook.
have been positioned for titles?
Thunder Rosa, Jade
Is
Cargill.
is she in the TBS
She was.
finals?
No, the finals is what? Soho and Cargill. Or Cargill, whatever. I think it's Cargill, not Cargill. Cargill.
Now, I'm not a wrestling pundit, but I will almost.
It's gonna go on Ruby Soho. Let's be real.
I was gonna get there, but yeah, Ruby will win. But again, you have the workers, even in WWE. For a while, Lashley was a worker. New Day were workers. Guys like that are workers, but how many of them have had multiple title runs? Yes, you can be a tag team champion all day long. Why? Because there's not many tag teams around. So but how many have reached that top ring? And out of the ones that have grabbed it, how many have had a good, fulfilling run with it?
No, you're right. I can't. I'm not going to argue.
Kofi didn't run with it.
You're right.
You're 100%. So there's a difference between representation, which everyone's represented. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. But representation at the top of the top of the heap, no.
Yeah, if you look at the current run of the company, yes, I agree with you. There is not really a lot of Ty Conti would probably be the only one right now, I would say, that's Latina besides Thunder Rosa that are in that representation of
but who holds the belt?
Obviously Britt Baker. So I mean
the appointment itself, and in 2022, you would hope that Tony Khan would wake up, look in the mirror, and say, "Oh shit, let's change this."
Well,
will it change? Who knows?
Well, and reinforcing what you just said, Bob. I mean, look at Andrade. He did a AAA match against Omega, but not an AEW match.
Yeah, they sent him back home to his mother country, and he had Ric Flair in his corner, and Omega had Don Callis in Mexico. You didn't have that I would call that a marquee level match here in the States, which you could have.
All right. But the problem with all the hype of bringing Andrade in, they haven't done hardly anything with him.
He's on Elevation in Dark.
Thank you. How many people watch Dark?
I watch Dark every night.
Exactly. When I close my eyes.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
No, you're right. Nobody. I mean, honestly, Jim Cornette said it best. He's like, they have Dark and Dark Elevation. He says, but don't you have to be elevated out of the darkness to really be something? And I died laughing because he's right. It's you have these programs with 20 matches, and some of them are decent. They had the Layla Hirsch Statlander feud that kind of nobody knew about because it's on Dark and Elevation. It wasn't on Rampage or Dynamite. You relegated a good feud to a shit B show.
I haven't even bothered with Dark because I watched it twice, and the number of, hey, this is the guy's debut match, and I'm like, yeah, and he's good, and you've got him against who? And this is basically, hey, it's an easy match for the superstar.
Pretty much.
And literally, and half of them have been like, oh, he barely made 2 minutes.
Oh no, it's 20 matches. It's ridiculous. It's he says that, and Cornette said it best. It's how do you have all these matches squeezed in? It's because half of these people are not able to wrestle in television yet. They shouldn't be on any platform. They should be plying their trade either in a wrestling school, on spot shows, away from the talent that's like where you should be using elevation to put like Orange Cassidy versus Andrade El Idolo, which again, I mean, a lot of people don't like Cassidy because they feel like he can't wrestle, but he can. They feel they hate his gimmick. But Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, you can do stuff with O'Reilly and Fish as Red Dragon. You can put them against the tag teams and elevate all that stuff and do all that, but they're not. And I think that's where we see that kind of loss in the B shows. And Dynamite is like 2 hours of let's put in some of the best content we can with like, okay, Statlander's gonna have a match against Layla Hirsch. And the only reason I knew about this was because Cornette talked about it on his show, and it prompted me to go watch it. And I was like, damn, this is really good. Why the hell is this on Dark? Like, Statlander just competed a month or so ago for the title. Like, why is she not having this match like here on Rampage? Or, you know, Rampage is the CM Punk show. It's like SmackDown's The Rock show. Like, The Rock doesn't even have to be there for it to be The Rock's show. You know, it's like that to me is like CM Punk is great. And I love how they're using him. But he shouldn't be on Rampage every week.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not looking. Tony, listen, if you ever watch my show, call me up. I will book something for you, dude. I want to book for you for AEW. Hire me. I will book some kick-ass matches for you. I'll book Dark for you. I'll book Elevation, and you'll see some rating changes. Guaranteed.
But long story short, WWE can completely change my mind if we see Lashley go over on Lesnar.
At the Rumble, I mean, I got Peacock. Well, I'll watch it. I will watch it to see if it happens. But I'm going to tell you now.
Because there's one of two directions they're going to go. They're either going to let Lashley have the title and let him fight someone on Raw, or at Mania we're going to get Roman versus Brock.
Unification.
Unify the titles once and for all.
Which they've kind of tried to debunk that because several people in WWE don't want that to happen, because then it'd be like, well, why do you have a brand split?
Well, you can have a brand split, but elevate your non-existent second-tier titles to be your important title that, you know, most people fight for.
You mean like actually make the Intercontinental title something worth something and the US title worth something? I mean, because both of them are on guys that can wrestle.
Well, what's funny is on IG earlier, I saw, I think it was Kayfabe Soup posted it. It was a meme. It was like a real surreal look, and me realizing that the IST title has not been defended on a pay-per-view since WrestleMania Night 2.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Because you don't count the pre-show, yeah. Because it's been defended on the pre-show several times.
On the actual pay-per-view, no.
No, on an actual pay-per-view, no.
So, Priest is doing a better job with his title than Shinsuke is with his.
But realize that Priest got the rub from Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Granted, Priest would have had the rub because of NXT.
Yeah.
But I hate the gimmick he's doing right now, to be frank. The gimmick sucks. But I think Priest is a hell of a wrestler. I've seen him in Ring of Honor. I've seen him in New Japan. I want to see him be successful now.
I mean, my whole thing with have one world champ is fine, because that gives them the power to go between shows, which you can elevate your talent with the IC title or the US title, and then use those titles as a segue to face Brock or face Roman or face whoever is going between shows.
You know what? What if they did something like this? And this is something I kind of like from Impact, because Austin Aries started it. where you took the X Division title, and at one it was the Destination X was the pay-per-view, and they offered option C, where the champion would turn in the belt for a world title shot. And at that pay-per-view, there was a new champion going to be crowned for the X Division title, and the X Division champion would then be going for the world title. I think, hey Tiny, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
If you did something like where you could trade in the IC belt and say, hey, I want to do option C.
That's where you can do that option C, or that is where your Money in the Bank can come into play, because they can go for any title they want at that point.
And now they're trying to say it's going to be NXT, like for the Rumble, they're going to throw in the NXT World Title. I was like, I don't know why. Like,
well,
World Title in
but
there,
but if you think about it, if you have the NXT title, why not? We've seen the demotion where it worked in the past. Where Finn Balor went back to NXT. So why not say, someone like Sami Zayn wins the Rumble and says, you know what, fuck it, I'm going back home, and destroys Braun Breaker in 2 minutes, and but if they use NXT as like a third brand and not development, which apparently I read an article today, they were talking about Jeff Hardy going back down.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And doing some stuff.
It was supposed to be like Jeff Hardy was supposed to go down, and it's not the AJ Styles. It wasn't supposed to be AJ. It's supposed to be Jeff. We're gonna have a program on NXT.
Well, from what I saw, that the whole shaman thing with that tag team was supposed to be
MSK
was supposed to be Jeff Hardy and not Riddle.
But Riddle killed it, though. I got to give it to him. He did a really good. He's done a real good job with it. I mean, because he is that kind of like Cheech and Chong kind of.
Yeah. But I mean, now I don't see a problem with sending someone back down.
Well, Mandy Rhodes,
just getting out there every week and working, because a lot of these guys don't work every week.
Well, think about what you just said. With the demotion, Mandy Rhodes went down because development didn't have anything for her, because Lacey Evans was her tag partner. Then she got out pregnant. She goes back down to NXT, and what happens? Bam. Dyes her hair, becomes a heel, wins the championship. Now is in a faction with the tag team champions.
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic.
The mindset that NXT 2.0, 3.0, NXT Plus, Ultra Edition, whatever they want to call it. If you have someone who's kind of like teetering on the crack, send them back down. Do something with them. I mean,
I think that's what they're going to end up having to do, because I don't know what's up with Ciampa. I want to know if Ciampa's going to leave.
I hope he does.
I really hope he goes elsewhere, because I know he's already stated he does not want to go to the main roster. He has said that several times.
I don't blame him.
And I think 100% don't go to the main roster. Go out of the company. You get a 30-day no-compete clause. You haven't gone to the main roster. You have 30 days non-complete, my buddy. Go to AEW. Go to New Japan. I mean, if you want to see if in April 1st, if ROH is going to be back on television, because like several people, like Flip Gordon is looking for bookings till April, he said. So, I mean, he's even holding out hope. But, on a happier news, I will talk about this. Have you guys watched night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom? Do you want a spoiler?
Sure.
Shingo Takagi of Los Ingobernables de Japón, who is the third, number 3 IWGP Heavyweight Champion, has lost his title. He is now the 4th champion. I don't have the box readily available, to the Rainmaker.
Nice.
Okada. And Okada on night 2, which is tonight, or I should say it was earlier today, which will probably be up tonight or tomorrow for people to watch. was Okada versus the new number one contender, Will Ospreay, the former champion. So I'm expecting a 5-star, 7-star match out of that.
It'll be an 8-star.
Well, yeah, Omega could only have 7 stars. So Will Ospreay's got to have 8.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen pictures of his faction, the British, I forgot what they're called, like the Alliance or something like that. It's like Jeff Cobb, and he added like 2 new guys, and his girlfriend are like all the champions. And he's been he's been calling himself the belt collector. Like he's been going around to other independent promotions collecting their heavyweight titles.
Nice.
So Ospreay is back 100%. He looks really good. I'm hoping that he wins. I mean, I don't know if I want Okada to drop it just yet, but if he does and Ospreay wins, it would be really cool to see Ospreay against Ibushi again, to actually have the match that I think they both deserve, because Ibushi has kind of fallen into that, like, I'm unknown again because I was I win the belt and I was cursed. Then Ospreay wins the belt, he was cursed. Shingo gets the belt and keeps it for a while, and then he loses it. So they said new design, curse. That's what they feel. So Okada's the only one that can break it.
Hopefully, we'll see.
So that's where I'm at. That's wrestling news. I heard that today, so I'm excited. I want to kind of watch it. I'll be probably watching that, and we'll talk about it maybe next week. I'll send you guys some links to if you guys go check out. I think on YouTube they have the Okada Takagi match up to show that he won the belt, but I haven't watched it yet. So that's one I would like to. Well, it's Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom, if you guys do not know in our chat, that is the Japanese WrestleMania. They're having they had the end of the tag team title run, because they do a tag team tournament for the number one tag team in all of New Japan. I think they had every belt in the company, the trios belts, and they get everybody. And I don't know if anybody has made any debuts. I will state this. There is supposedly planned for tonight and Saturday a debut in AEW. The 2 planned debuts are either Bray Wyatt or Johnny Gargano. What
I would
bets
probably
would
say
you
Gargano, if anything.
You say Gargano. Smitty, who would you want to see, Wyatt or Gargano?
I've heard Wyatt isn't coming back, so it's I've got to agree with Bob. It would probably be Gargano.
I think I want Gargano, but I wouldn't mind seeing the new Fiend.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I don't think any of us would mind that. I'm like, but everything I'm hearing is, that he's not.
All right, so where would we
back.
put? So here's the other question I'm going to ask you guys. You guys are unanimously, we all kind of agree we'd get Johnny Gargano, Mr. Johnny Wrestling. Where would we put Johnny on the card?
Please.
I mean, honestly, if we sign him, where are we putting him on the card?
Yeah. Once again, you've got such a full. Where do you put him?
He's a great wrestler. Do you put him against Cody?
No, you can't put him against Cody out of the gate.
Why not?
Why?
Jay Lethal did it. Jay Lethal went right at his first match. Sammy Guevara, world TNT title. Jay Lethal's established. Why not? Why not Johnny Wrestling?
I would go a little bit further up the card. I would just throw him right at Hangman.
Oh, you're talking throw him in the main event. Ooh, I felt more throwing him towards the TNT title, because that's kind of where he was relegated to in NXT.
No, that is all Hunter and HBK's fault. That's not his fault.
I agree.
I mean, we know he can go. I mean, he went in NXT, so why not make the big splash?
Yeah, go big or go hard. You'll go home, right? Yeah, I was like, go big or go home.
I mean, there's plenty of action in the kiddie pool.
I mean, honestly, if you look at all like the greenhorns, there's plenty of that.
Yeah. You know, Punk is playing camp counselor to the little kids, whereas Brian's playing with the big boys. Throw Johnny with the big boys. Why not? Ain't don't hurt nothing.
True. It may not.
Either way you go with Hangman or Bryan Danielson, you're gonna get a 5-star match out of it.
That's true, and I think Paige it'd be good to have maybe Gargano come in as a heel, because there aren't that many top heels that we would see come in that would, or maybe have him as a face to kind of side with, get away from the Dark Order, because I want the Dark Order to turn heel. Like, my dream would be Wyatt comes in and takes over and turns everybody heel in the Dark Order. And the Dark Order would still be over. And like Paige then has to like start up and like look for new friends. And then you have them, because I think Johnny Hungry, I love him. John Silver is a great wrestler, and he makes me laugh every time I see him. I think Evil Uno and Stu Grayson need to kind of go back to Canada for a little bit. 10 needs to be more wrestling more, because I think he's a great big man. Colt needs to be a heel. I don't want to see him goofy, be a heel. That's kind of where my brain goes. So I know we didn't get to really talk about the stuff that we were supposed to watch, but it wouldn't be fun without JC here.
No, that's fine.
So, and it's 8:27. I know I told Smitty that I kind of wanted to end it a little bit early, because my wife got home from work a little bit later than she wanted to, and I kind of want to spend a little bit of time with her, and and the baby, and then figured we could all enjoy an early night. I do love you guys for watching us. Thank you for everybody that's our watchers that have come in. We always do this show regardless if we have 10 people, 0 people. It's just our way of saying we're gonna have fun. We have fun. So you obviously know where you can find JC on the Nerd Dungeon on here and on Instagram. Smitty, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram, SmittyRock67.
Check him out, folks. He's got some great pictures of his customs that he always posts. So definitely, Smitty has his finger on the pulse to the custom guys, and he always lets people know about it. So definitely check him out there. And Terry Silver, I trust. I know is my boy King Bob. King Bob, where can we see you if we want to know more about your life?
Instagram, King_Bob_AIC. I've been known to have a YouTube channel. I haven't posted on it recently, but it's King Bob's Adventures in Collecting.
When we feel the itch, we do it.
But you can also find me embarrassing myself on the Kamikaze karaoke circuit for the month of January until I get voted off. But
so definitely check him out on Saturday, folks. Keep up to his Instagram.
It's gonna be fun.
So please, in my stead, because I will not be here on Saturday, I'll be posting pictures to my Facebook and to IG, where you will find me, Dre the Geek Dad, on Instagram. I did change the name from Dre's the Geek Depot because it does not exist anymore. And you can find me also at Dre the Geek Dad on YouTube. I do post occasionally videos. I am working on a series that I haven't finished yet. I don't know who that. The Miles Morales.
It's a post on Facebook that says, "Okay, hear me out." Who is that person up top?
Is that Michael J. White?
No, that's Kanye West.
Oh, I can't even see. It was too bright.
Yeah, it's Kanye West, and it says, "Okay, hear me out."
Before
for Kanye to be Miles Morales.
No. First off, before I even continue with what I was saying, Shaquem, the guy that played Miles Morales in the Into the Spider-Verse that voiced him, he has been Marvel's top choice because the voice of Kamala Khan is being Kamala Khan in the live-action series for Miss Marvel. So they're looking to use him as the live-action Miles Morales. That's something we'll talk more about maybe on Wednesday next week, maybe on Toy Chat on Monday. So again, folks, you can find me on my YouTube channel, but you usually will find me here every Wednesday with my boys. And if you plan to want to see JC not getting beat up, make sure he tell his bosses to stop working him so hard so he can come join us, because it's not fun without making fun of Roman Reigns, and he's not here to kind of defend it. But that is all. So from me, Smitty, and King Bob and JC, peace out, folks. We'll see you next week.
Later, guys.